24 years in the past, you are Hana, a girl born in a Korean family to a loving mom and dad, but have a grandmother that hates you for being a granddaughter rather than a grandson, and by extension hates your mother for not producing one and stealing her only son away. And said son, your father, can do nothing to protect your mother. You dislike your grandmother for making your mom cry. You don't respect your father for letting it happen. And you hate your brother, Jun, born 4 years later, for almost costing your mother's life in the process. Endings forever changed with Jun's birth. Your grandmother favored him. Your mother paid extra attention to him, and if she didn't, your grandmother would yell at her for it. The center of your family's world had to be Jun, and there seemed to be no place for you in it. You hate your brother because he stole your place, but you also can't hate your brother because that's what it means to be family. To watch him grow up innocently as his sister and be proud. And Jun loves and trusts you, his sister, in return. And in that trust, he lays himself bare, his most vulnerable self, confiding in you his biggest secret. He comes out of the closet and tells you, I'm gay. It makes you afraid of the reaction your grandma will have, of the pain your mother will endure due to it, of how it will affect the family. And you tell him, being gay is wrong. Your relationship with each other damaged from then on. Now, in the present, both of you are adults, and you can't stand your brother anymore. You're working hard to live up to the expectations placed on you, but your brother is bumming around with no career. He bites back, telling you to leave him alone, but you can smell the alcohol from him, likely another night of sinning. Sin, he questions. That's what you call it? If Jun didn't want you to hate that part of himself, he should have get it fixed. A fight breaks out. Your parents arrive, but it's too late. Applications go flying. You hit him back. Your dad's voice holds no power, but your mom's crying voice does. And the fight ends worse off than it ever has. Then one day, it's just you and mom having dinner. Mom wonders why Jun has yet to get a girlfriend, and you must hear her worry about Jun time and again, never sparing a dot for you, your stress, your failures, your efforts. But Jun gets all the attention. Your mother knows nothing, but you know Jun's weakness. For once, you can get revenge on Jun for the pain he caused you. You tell your mother, Jun's gay. She trembles. It's a lie, she thinks, but you shatter that hope. Jun trusted you enough to say it, and this is how you'll repay that trust. This is not your fault. That's what you believe. That is the story and perspective of the worst character in Mom, I'm Gay, a Webtoon series that tries to tell the story of the LGBTQ experience, and it's not an uncommon thing to do. There are plenty of actual novels that do that, but uncommon in the typical Yaoi or Yuri series do they try to tackle the issues of being gay or lesbian seriously. There are exceptions, of course. Aside from those, though, why would the typical Yaoi or Yuri try? We don't, for example, usually read Yuri for navigating the complex social dynamics in play as a lesbian, for the family drama of coming out and being found out as a lesbian to your parents. of the broken relationship and ostracization that follows others knowing, of the fear and pain one feels just being alive in that situation. It's just heavy. We want trashy dramas, angst-filled relationships, or a fluffy, wholesome couple in our Yuri. We aren't actively looking to be depressed when reading, I would like to think. But sometimes we do get stories like that. And thankfully, Mom, I'm Gay is not all gloom and doom. It's filled with growth and acceptance. Let me continue the story, but from the perspective and experience of the mother this time. It's the next day. The thought of her son being gay kept Kyungmi up all night, and suddenly, Jun's friend, Rin, will stay over in his room for a few days. Jun looks at his mother for approval, but she turns away, not knowing how to face him anymore. But more importantly, Kyungmi reminds him it's improper for a man and a woman to casually sleep in the same room. And they laugh her off, saying they'll never get together, leaving Kyungmi to her thoughts. The deeper implications of his words sink in, that Jun would not date Rin, or rather, a girl. It all but confirms he's gay in her mind, and her son feels so unfamiliar to her now. So Kyungmi goes to a cafe to confide in her friend about it. She doesn't know where to begin, but suddenly other people in the cafe complain about a gay pride event outside, of how wrong it is, of how disgusting those people are. And someone familiar appears. Kyungmi gets up. She rushes through the crowd, finding her son there. Or so she thought it was. Her friend catches up, asking what's the matter with her. And all Kyungmi can think of were those derogatory comments, which now applies to her son too. She calms down a bit, and her friend recommends going to a library for answers. Along the way, she asks her faith for answers, but she is only met with silence. So now in the library, she can only look to books for answers, and her first results are scary. For her friend too. But that's because Kyungmi typed homosexual instead of gay or queer, not knowing it's a dated term nowadays, and fixes it to better result. Tangent? Out of curiosity, I want to try this too. I'll go to a university library like in the story and search up I gay. The results? The man I might become. Gay men written about their fathers 2002. Becoming who I am. Young men on being gay 2017. Growing up gay / growing up lesbian. A literary anthology 1994. Fatherhood for gay men. An emotional and practical guide to becoming a gay dad 2012. That seemed alright. Now for I Homosexual. Let's see. Is the homosexual my neighbor? Another Christian view. 1978. Sexual transmitted diseases in homosexual men. Diagnosis, treatment, and research. 1983. Strangers in Our Midst. A problem of the homosexual in American society. 1962. The Wolfram Report. Committee on Homosexual Offenses. You know what? I think we get. I think I get the picture now. You know what? Let's just move on. Back on track. Some books relieve her. Others make her anxious. Kyungmi's opinion on homosexuality teeters from right and wrong. And as she walks out, she notices a flyer for the queer club. Going there might be her chance to talk to gay people to understand their experiences of people just like Jun. Though her preconceived stereotypes might make her a bit apprehensive, when she sees them in person, they look just like normal people. So she explains learning about her son being gay, and they quickly note Hana committed a taboo, outing someone before they're ready to come out themselves, and advise Kyungmi the best thing she can do is just wait until Jun is comfortable enough to tell him herself, and accept them when that happens. Even still, Kyungmi can't understand how they can live like this, exposed to discrimination, violence, and rejection just for existing. Wouldn't it just be better if they just weren't gay to begin with? And one of them express how they can't help being who they are, that they rather die as their authentic self than live hiding forever. If that's how she feels, it might just be how Jun feels too. She doesn't want to be seen as part of the world that rejects them. She's just trying her best as an anxious and ignorant mother, and hopes Jun will one day come out to her himself, so that she can share in his struggles and happiness together like these kids. It's so uplifting to read, of a parent trying to understand their child in any way possible. It's why I love Mom, I'm Gay. And I haven't even talked about the literal two main characters of the story, being Jun, a gay son, and Rin, a lesbian daughter. They have their own lives, past and current struggles, which are the main focus of the story, but I can make a whole video on just the side characters and their experiences. Chapter-wise, I haven't even talked about more than 20% of the story. You can go to Mantan right now, where you can officially read it and start from the beginning even after this video, and read a whole new plot immediately, because I left the main story untouched. I highly recommend reading this, but you should also know in terms of representation, I'd say it does a fine job, except the ending conflict, which can be quite questionable. That all said, hope you enjoyed the video, and although the webtoon is technically Yaoi and Yuri, the next recommendation will be standard just Yuri story. So look forward to it. Hope you subscribe to stay up to date on my recommendations.